Parker writes, now that spring is over, how much did your view of this team increase or maybe decrease in terms of competing for the college football championship or ACC championship? Thank you, guys, and congratulations, Corey.
Thank you.
Very well done, Parker. All right. I don't know that it's increased or decreased at all. I thought that prior to spring, Florida State would be a team that competes for the ACC championship. I still believe that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely didn't decrease. And I would say that, I on the surface, I wouldn't say it's increased, but I would say this. There are some players on this team that I believe are better. There were top flight players that are better now than they were 4 months ago. Like Johnny Wilson, I thought was better all spring. We didn't get to see him in the spring game.
Yeah.
But I thought he was better all spring than he was last fall. I think Jared Verse is getting better. He's adding more tools to his toolbox, and that's crazy to think.
I think Renardo Green was better.
Green was better.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Travis was maybe even better. So, I mean,
Trey Vincent's it's hard to tell with the green jersey, but David Johnson wants him to be better.
So I think, so no, definitely haven't decreased.
Nice.
If you could be guaranteed a future all ACC caliber defender from this cycle of the portal, but you could not, but could only take him at one position, would you choose defensive end, linebacker, or safety? This is from Jonathan.
An all ACC player. Like
you get a future all ACC defender from this cycle in the portal, but you can only take him at one position. Are you choosing a defensive end, a linebacker, or a safety?
Well, the discrepancy I have there is when is it future all ACC or is it like
this year?
ACC
We're going to say
this year.
We're going to say 2023 all ACC defender.
I mean, I would probably go. I'd probably go safety. I don't see how you're going to get that at defensive end.
You might already have two all ACC.
Yeah, why? I mean, I just don't see why would. I mean, it's just hard to even wrap my mind around.
Imagine having another one that's like that. That'd be nice, right?
It would be, but I just can't imagine that they would come here.
I think you might.
And if it's a linebacker, then you're going to lose one of those other two, which is fine. I'm just saying that's the reality of it.
I feel like I still might roll with defensive end. I think if you're rotating those three guys, like three all ACC caliber defensive ends, that's a really nice.
It's a tough call between that and linebacker for me, but because I do believe Shaheem Brown's going to have a good year, even though admittedly we haven't seen he wasn't great in spring. FSU has 3 two-sport athletes, writes Jason, committed in the 2024 class. Is Norvell fixing the baseball team too?
I looked up, so on Game Changer, there's this app on Game Changer called Game Changer, where you can look up all these box scores from baseball games all across the country at the amateur level. And I looked up Wilcox County, that kid,
BJ Gibson,
that just committed. And they only did like 7 games, but all 7 games he had 2 hits and like a double, a home run, stolen bases. He would pitch 2 innings and strike out 6. It's like, okay, and I know it's a small school, but it sounds like he's a pretty legit baseball player to go along with being a really good football player.
Did either of you invest emotionally or otherwise in the 2 losses, the final 2 losses in the NC State series?
No.
I mean,
I still did.
Are you serious?
What is the matter with you?
My wife laughed at me.
Have you watched?
I cannot repeat what I said when we were walking the world at the end again.
Yeah.
Walking the world.
But you knew that
again.
was going to happen.
Well, what drives me nuts
they
is
don't have any pitching.
I know, but you hit a go-ahead home run in extra innings, and then you're going to walk everybody? I mean, that's what we're going to do? Will Travis J be a contributor on defense or special teams or just on the roster for the 2023 season?
If he's on the roster, he'll be a contributor at safety.
Yeah.
He'll be one of the top 4 or 5 safety, unless they go make some moves in the portal.
I would think he'll
be in the safety rotation if he's here.
Yeah.
They just don't have a whole lot of other options after him and Duke Cooper.
Yes, they don't. That's why we got about 12 days.
But you got more time. It's just the deadline for the 2 weeks is just them going in the portal. They could get guys out later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just this is
when is that window? Is there not a window?
Corey's getting to a point that I think is representative of the fans of college football, which is there's too many ways. Too many ways in which people just ride the hell out at any time.
Yeah. All right. So the deadline in 2 weeks is just they have to declare I'm in the portal. If they're an underclassman, if they've graduated, that was my point about like Bethune and those guys. If they've graduated, they can leave whenever they want. They can leave in July or August.
But that's always been the case. Yeah, Like if you're a graduate, you can just ride.
But these other guys, they have to declare within a week or 2, but they don't have to. Like the other schools still have plenty of time to sign. Houston Barber asked, could any of the defensive tackles move over to the edge to fill that hole that they lost from McClendon.
Maybe move Briggs back.
Well,
Just keep him on the yo-yo forever.
It's funny about that though. Like it is weird that if they had to pick a position for him, why they went with tackle, because I mean he's probably he might be third team tackle.
And I really like him. I think he's a good football player.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, he'll be used in certain fronts, but I do think they'll move him out on the edge.
Yeah, they might.
I think you might see him out there. You might see Bishop Thomas, Braden Fisk. They do. To answer your question, Houston, yes, I do think they've got some athletic tackles that they can make big ends.
But I don't know that they'll move them there.
Not play in and play out, but yeah,
in certain situations they'll move them
in. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see some 3-man fronts.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be able to kind of confuse quarterbacks. I mean, we were pretty much locked in the same thing all the time, and that's fine. You have to play to your personnel, but I think you have personnel now that you can do some things that are.
You definitely have ends for a 3-man front for sure.
With a linebacker entering the portal, that'd be Brendan Gant. Where do we find more depth from?
Yeah, I think they'll go the portal. I think linebacker's second on my list as far as I think guys they'll add. I think safety's number 1 for them. I think they're also going to be very selective in the guy they want. I haven't heard any. I know everyone's been asking for give us a portal watch, and I don't think there's like heavy activity yet because I think they're compiling all the stuff they want to see the guy they're going to go after. There's several candidates that I'll talk about tonight, but on the linebacker, I'll probably do a linebacker portal watch of guys to watch that I'll post later tonight. I'm going to work to a 10 to watch as well later tonight, so I'll have those few things that I'll be working on. But yeah, I think linebacker certainly you want it. I think you want another outside linebacker that can certainly fill the void of what Brendan did, and you need more depth there. I think their starting 3 is really good. I was impressed with what I saw from the spring with Deloach and even certainly Lundy as far as in coverage is a lot better than what I've seen before. But I think starter wise they're good, but I think there needs to be depth there. They got Omar Graham, but after that it's pretty thin. You want to see some more guys in there that emerge. So I think certainly they're going to add another linebacker in this. I think this May window.
Over Ryan Davis from Apopka at Georgia here has thrown his name into the portal. Richard Lewis. I don't think the comedian Richard Lewis, but Richard Lewis was wondering if there's any interest in a linebacker that just hit the portal probably about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, there's a few guys that they're intrigued with. I don't think there's anything serious, like they're pushing hard, like people want to hear. I think there's guys like Ryan, and then there's also the Cincinnati linebacker that's been mentioned a few times on the PRB that I think they're intrigued with. But I don't think there's like heavy activity yet. I think FSU's like I said, being very combining everything together to see which one's the pecking order as far as which way they want to go. So, and I as I told people, I will cover a few things of what I'm hearing, with the linebacker board, kind of what they're looking at in the portal. But for now, I would say just mainly for Richard, probably just some intrigue as far as him, and probably checking him out, maybe kicking the tires, seeing what the background is, seeing what if the fit is there. And then it's just studying where the pecking order would be with him. So I think right now they're using this week to kind of evaluate a lot of these guys before they just go all in, unless there's just somebody that jumps in that's just so can't miss that they got to have them. I don't think there's a guy yet to that level, but they are some really strong, solid prospects like Davis and a few others that they're intrigued with, that they're kind of figuring out which way they're going to go.
See, I mean, he's been at Georgia since 2020. Last year he's got his most action with 188 reps, grade out at 56. So maybe not where you exactly want your linebacker to be. I mean, I don't know how selective they'll be, but there are some of his grades here on the screen, as you see. Otherwise, Michael, the linebacker from Cincinnati, he's from Cincinnati as well. So I don't know. Jaheim Thomas is his name. I'll pop him up here on the screen, but we'll just let everybody know that we see you and we hear you. But, we'll see how this one works out too. This is, again, a guy that's far from home, but they've pulled guys from far from home before.
Right.
So.
And the thing is, you got to keep in mind, I studied this a little bit today, just kind of breaking down in my head, which was, they're four over right now from the 85 spot, if I'm not mistaken, with the move from Antavius Woody to enter the portal. along with Brendan Gant. So that means if you take 2 guys from this class from the portal, which I think is safety and a linebacker, you're probably going to have 6 guys leave. So they're still working out that stuff. So it goes combination with both guys. They got to figure that stuff out, and then once they have their spots, then they can make their move. So keep that in mind. And then in case they want to take a third guy, which I think it's probably 2 or 3 additions that they would make in this class, there'd probably have to be a 7th guy you'll leave. So keep that in mind when we're talking about portal. It's a combination of them going through the exit meetings, but also you'll find the right guys. So they're going to be very selective in the guys they go after and they take. And certainly the safety position is the premier top need as far as what they want. So I think if there's a premier safety that they feel like just a can't miss, you're gonna hear a lot from me early, really quick. So, and there's a few guys I'm waiting to see if they pop in, but like I said, I don't talk about guys until they're either planning to go in or they're in there. So, but it will pick up, guys. But it's just because the portal is open, just because a few days. You got 15 days, so there's going to be times to figure it out. And I think you certainly will see some activity in the next few days as far as FSU being a little more proactive in movement as far as what they want. But they're being very selective because we're not talking about 9 moves like you did in during the season. We're talking about like a few moves, like 2 or 3 at the most,